Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I am wishing you a very warm welcome to another live session with ApplyBoard. We've been coming back every Friday on our channels with our partner institutions from across the world. And today I am very excited to have with us JCU. So we'll actually be talking about how you should choose a program in Australia. So if you're looking to study in Australia, we've got some great advice for you on how you can actually choose a program to study. So without further ado, I'd like to invite our guest Gerald on the stage, please. Hi, Gerald.
Hi, Sakshi.
Without further ado, I'd like to. Oops, we're having some excellent technical difficulties this afternoon. How are you doing, Gerald?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. How are you? How have you been?
I have been wonderful myself. Gerald, if you would please introduce yourself to our audiences and your association to the university, that would be wonderful.
Lovely. Sure. My name is Gerald, and I take care of the student recruitment, international student recruitment for James Cook University, Australia. We are located in far north Queensland, in cities like Townsville and Cairns, and we've got our main campus at Townsville, and we've got another campus at Cairns. And I'm excited to share more information about James Cook University with everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and likewise, I'm sure our students, the parents, and recruitment partners watching are also equally very excited to listen in. I think the first question that comes to my mind, and I'm sure equally so in students who are actually considering to study in Australia. What is the situation like? I mean, why should they even consider studying in Australia, considering there's been so much of back and forth with the border closure and so on, Gerald? If you can please put some light on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of information happening, right? I would say there's a lot of positive vibes coming in, especially for students, because they've been waiting for almost like 2 years now. And unfortunately, it is pretty unfortunate that we had to wait because of the pandemic, and it is nothing to do with us, to be very precise. See, coming back to the borders, so there's a lot of news that's coming in, especially from states like New South Wales, right, and Victoria. So there's going to be um, things happening, right? Be it a safety corridor project or be it bringing in continuing students, etc. But from the government point of view, like the Australian government has decided to first look at the permanent residents who are stuck outside of Australia, right? To bring them on board first. Maybe like it might start, the first phase might start in November. So once the permanent resident can actually come into Australia, then they'll be looking at continuing students to be allowed into Australia, and then the third phase would be bringing in new students. Right, there might be chances where it can happen very soon. There might be chances it might happen on a phased approach. But again, with all the wait that we had, there's a lot of positive news coming our way, and I'm sure there might be plans that might come maybe in 3 or 4 months where things might get back to normal, and that's exactly what we are hoping for. And I hope that it happens the way it is now at the moment. Yeah.
Certainly, and I guess this is also a good time, right? Like, we at ApplyBoard this month, we're focusing on how a student should choose a program to study. So this is a good time
Okay.
also for students to, especially if they're looking to study in Australia, knowing that things will open in a few months, it's a good time to put in your research, choose the right program, and really kind of understand the university and the new lifestyle that you'll be adopting, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be a new start, I would say, like because like there's definitely been a gap for 2 years, but nothing has changed. So if you look at continuing students studying at the university, of course they went through a few months of lockdown, unlike any other country in the world, I would say, because Australia actually shut the borders maybe like earlier,
mhm.
right, than most of the other countries. So they had an opportunity to come back to the university and study very soon, right? So they were not doing online programs much, I would say, especially with regard to James Cook University, maybe like 3 months or 4 months break, more like a semester break. So it didn't make a big difference, I would say, right? So it is back to normal at the university. You have face-to-face classes happening, right? So there's not much of big change, except for the fact that the borders had to open and the new students can actually look at studying in Australia or looking at moving to Australia very soon.
Mhm.
So that's the only difference when it comes to students who are already studying at the university, continuing their studies, and students who are actually looking to study in Australia.
Right. So, okay, we've heard a little bit about, why Australia, and very rightly so, all the great reasons. Things are opening, and it's definitely a great country to kind of study and, eventually make a life in. Why James Cook University? Gerald, what would you say to students and parents and recruitment partners watching in? Why should they consider the university?
That's a good question. I would say it's an amazing university, and it says it all, right? I want to stop there, but of course, yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, of course, I worked there. I've been there with many. I've been with James Cook University for many years, but there are a lot of other advantages studying at James Cook University because of the location and the destination that we are at, right? We are by the Great Barrier Reef, one of the world's richest heritage. We are by the Daintree rainforest, right? We have the Australian outback. So if you're looking at from the destination point of view, it's an amazing place to study, right? It's to explore adventure, right, and also to explore nature as well along with your studies. Of course, it's tropical, right, and students across South Asia, students across anywhere in Middle East, Africa, they would definitely love it because of the climate, the weather, etc. Right, but from the university point of view, we hold some amazing rankings, right? World rankings. So we are ranked in the top 2% when it comes to global universities. We are ranked number one in the world for marine and freshwater biology. Sciences are forte because of the location that we are in, and we ranked number two in the world for tropical biology and conservation. And we've got 5 stars when it comes to employability, graduate employment. We've got 5 stars for student support. We've been getting that for many years now, consecutive years now. So of course we've got an amazing student support team, and I'm sure like we're going to talk about it as well. So there's a lot to explore, and from the university point of view, we are a public university, right? And it's a multicultural diversity, right? So we've got students across the globe, not specific to any community or any region. I would say we've got students from South Asia, Middle East, Africa, Oceania. You also have students from US studying medicine, dentistry with us, from Latin America, from Europe, and Southeast Asia as well. So it's a wide range of, I would say, like students from 111 countries, which makes it even more interesting for any student to look at, because the only reason why we go and study abroad is to gain that exposure, right? And I'm sure this would definitely help them studying at JCU.
Absolutely. You spoke a little bit about the student support. I'd love to hear more. What is the kind of student support that is available at the university?
We've got a different setup, right? We've got the JCU Student Association, we've got an International Student Association, we've got the mentor programs, we've got buddy programs as well. So what we exactly do is to make sure that the student is actually welcomed, right, by a student by our arrival service. So from the very beginning, when they land in Townsville or when they land in Keynes, right, we make sure that they're taken care of, right? So there is no third party setup available. It's our own students, continuing students, or alumni of JCU who would go and pick up the new students. So it makes it even more interesting. It breaks the barriers, it breaks the ice, I would say, right? So it makes it easier and comfortable for students to get into the university, right? Apart from that, we also have a lot of clubs and societies, right? Not only for social activities, be it a residential setup or be it accommodation or be it finding out opportunities, right? So our student support would be able to help the new students. The best thing that about JCU's student support team would be the mentor program or the buddy program that we call it. So they help the students in mentoring them when it comes to the programs that they study. Like if you have a final year student, they will definitely be able to help the first year or the second year students. So it's all open. We've got a separate team who are also alumni who will be able to understand the experiences and the situations that a student would have gone through when they would have studied. It makes it easier for them to connect with the new students and make sure that they are comfortable. So we've got a very good student support team, and that's why we've got 5 stars for student support for almost, like, I guess it's a 6th year consecutive. So it makes it even more easier for students, for new students.
No, that's definitely great points, and you're just kind of feeling supported all the way from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you're welcomed, and then you're till the very end. You've got that mentorship and the alumni support. Definitely makes a huge difference. When it comes to
Yeah.
the types of degrees and the education, we are talking about the program that the student should be choosing. So my question to you is, first of all, what is the duration of the bachelor's, the undergraduate degree at JCU? Is it 3 years or 4 years?
It depends upon the program that you select. So commonly it's going to be 3 years, right? If you're taking any of the programs, be it science or be it arts, right, or any of the programs. But if you're looking at engineering programs, it gets to 4 years because of the honors degree as well that they would get. If you're looking at health and medicine program, it might differ. So if you're looking at medicine, it's going to be 6 years, right? 5 years of studies plus 1 year of internship. If you're looking at dentistry and veterinary sciences, it'll be 5 years. So there's definitely a bit of difference when it comes to the programs as such, but generally it's going to be 3 years. But if you're doing an honors degree, it might add up 1 more year, and it might be 4 years. And if it's going to be health and medicine, it's completely different depending upon either the student prefers studying medicine or dentistry or veterinary sciences, which might be 5 and 6 years. Yeah.
All right. And is there an option to do a dual degree for students?
Yes, definitely. There are options available when it comes to bachelor's of business. I would say they can actually select 2 degrees, and they would be, 2 areas, and they will be able to do, be it, say, for example, marketing or management. They can combine that in 3 years. Or we do have, if you're looking at master's program, we do have some dual degree programs already available. Like you've got information technology with business administration, which is MIT MBA. You've got professional accounting with business administration as well, right? And you also have public health with business administration. So you do have few dual degrees which is already in place, or if the student prefers to do a bachelor's degree with which covers 2 areas, that's also possible depending upon the interest of the student.
Wonderful. So, like when a student is choosing a program to study, right, there's so many aspects to consider. So there would be, first would be your background, would be your interest, would be the cost. One important aspect would also be the career opportunities, right? You want to study something that will lead into a good, fruitful career. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about the job opportunities for international students in Australia, and also from what you see? You are one of the two amongst the 2% of the universities. So I'm sure the alumni is very well placed. If you just want to tell us a little bit about the opportunities, which sectors, what are some of the companies that your alumni is working in?
Yeah. Sure, definitely. So, see, I guess like you're talking about full-time opportunity and not part-time opportunity, but I just wanted to touch base both so that it will be helpful for students. So, if students are studying, so if they want to do a 3-year program or a 2-year program at James Cook University, of course, you are allowed to work 40 hours per fortnight as part-time, right? That is not the question here. But again, if you're looking at full-time opportunity, yes, there are a lot of advantages, right, studying and in cities like Townsville and Keynes, because these are regional cities, right, and these are still developing. And Townsville is one of the cities which is actually developing, and there's a lot of scope, right, and advantage for students who are living and studying there because of the new innovation complex that's coming up, and which is more towards technology and innovation, right? And there's a lot of opportunities when it comes to the field of IT and the field of agriculture and the field of research, right, and the field of business, as well as like real estate, and there's a lot more as well. So if you're looking at any technical skilled programs at JCU, we almost have internships added to the programs, right? Because of our good industrial associations that we have with few companies, be it Optus Telecom or Singapore Telecom. We work with Huawei, a known brand to everybody, right? And we also work with Taggle, and there's quite a few that we work with. When it comes to sciences, we work with Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority, right? And there's a lot of technology and innovation setup coming up at Keynes as well, which will help students focus in areas like data science, right? Focus in areas like information technology, more towards IoT, which is Internet of Things, more towards sensor technologies, automation, right? Along with sciences where we are very strong, like marine biology, or be it environmental sciences, or earth sciences, or be it geology, more towards rocks and fossils. So opportunities are available when it comes to skill category in Australia. So it depends upon the student as well, right? How well they place themselves in the market, and and that 2 years or 3 years that they're studying at the university is very crucial, right? To make sure that they actually up their ante to suit the career requirement of the companies that are available from the university point of view, or not only from the university point of view, or from a generic point of view, where they have contacts elsewhere in Australia, where they can study in Townsville and then move out to any other state in Australia to get an opportunity. So opportunities are available from the skilled point of view, be it IT or be it from engineering point of view, or be it from data science point of view, or be it from sciences as well. So yeah, there are opportunities. And of course, the internship programs will definitely help students. I forgot about the hospitality industry as well, which is really booming, especially at Cairns, because Cairns is the second largest tourist destination next to Sydney in
Mhm.
Australia. So it adds a lot of value when it comes to hospitality industry. We work with some amazing relationships with hotels, with big chain of hotels, be it Shangri-La, be it Accord, right? There's a lot more as well, like Riley's. So students will definitely have an opportunity. It's just that how they use it and how they make sure that they place themselves by the time that they finish the program would be the key here.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Yeah, that sounds all very exciting and definitely very worthwhile for the student. And you've got such a strong association with the industry. Plus, you've got alumni and there's mentorship. So I think all of this combined together definitely makes that difference and really prepares you for
Yeah,
the last
definitely.
step, which
Yeah,
is the most important one.
important. Yeah.
Um, Gerald, just in terms of, so we're coming to time, just want to ask you, if you had any other advice, last words of wisdom for students who are actually considering, what would you recommend them? What should they be looking at? How, if you have any other tips on how they should be choosing a program, what should they be looking at for the application process?
Yeah. See, at the moment, I would say, like, of course, being patient is the key here. I know we waited enough, and there's a lot of news coming in. So hopefully things work out well and turn out well for us, for all of the students who are actually waiting to travel to Australia. But from an application point of view, application with any other university, even at JCU, and I'm sure with all the other Australian universities, it is open, right? If student wants to
Yeah.
apply, they are free to apply, and now they've got their documents anyways with regard to transcripts, because they would have done completed in their home country. So it's easier for them to start the application process rather than waiting till the end when we hear about the borders. So getting an application ready, getting the offer letter ready, and setting up your financial stages would be the key, I would say, so that once you hear about the borders, you're all set to fly, right? And to make sure that you are there in the destination that you would want to, right, pursue your studies. So that would be my advice. So there is definitely a preparation time for you, the next 3 or 4 months time before we get an update with regard to the borders. So that is the ideal time for us to start the application process and look at opportunities available in Australia. You've got a lot of information on the website these days, be it the university website or be it any of the websites available with regard to careers. So maybe select or choose based on what is available, right? Be it skilled or be it business or be it anything, right? So this is the time for you, and I guess like you will use it to the maximum. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. And this has been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for your time today, Gerald.
Anytime, Sakshi. Yeah, thanks so much for you and Apply Board as well for arranging this. We are very happy to be a part of this, and I hope it was useful to the students as well as to the parents. Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah. And thank you so much for everyone who's watching in. Please stay tuned on our channels. Subscribe, like, follow. We come back every Friday with leading partner institutions from Canada, US, UK, and Australia to talk more about how you can apply the application process. Also, like Gerald said, this is a good time to kind of start your application process. Look at just putting all your ducks in a row. So also check out the Apply Board blog. We are coming up with very good advices on how you can choose a program, how can you be very well prepared before that time. So this is our time. Thank you so much for everyone to watch in. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in chat, and someone from Apply Board will be sure to get back to you. Thank you so much. Bye. Thanks, Cheryl. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for watching in. This is us signing off.